So, I listened to Normani's debut album, and I want to talk about it. Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was actually gonna make this video, which is why it's super late. I think the album's been out for like at least 2 weeks at this point because it's already been charted on the Billboard. But I figured I want to do it anyway. Even if I can't do a reaction video, I still want to talk about the album because I feel like I feel like y'all not giving this girl grace. If you're completely unaware of what the heck I'm talking about, Normani dropped her debut album, Dopamine, like I said, about 2 weeks ago. And people are saying that, like, it's not what they expect it to be for her to have just did her debut album now, where she's been like a solo artist for a couple years now. But like, you have to remember, she's still a new artist, so there is growth that needs to be had. Before we talk about what's on the album, let's talk about what's not on the album. Normani has released a couple singles before the album has dropped, and notably, they're missing. So obviously, the big one, Motivation, is not on this album. But I feel like it doesn't have a place on this album. She has grown so much since, when did it drop? 2018, 2019? She's grown so much as an artist since then. And so it really doesn't have a place on the album. In my professional opinion, I think there are other songs that kind of take its place, and it's more of her style. It's also not an album. A lot of her songs that she did for like movies are not on it. So the song with Megan Thee Stallion, I think it's called Diamonds, that's not on the album. Love Lies, her very first technical solo song, was with Khalid. It's not on the album. Waves, surprisingly, it's not on the album, but again, it was so long ago, it makes sense that it's not there. But what does surprise me is that Fair, one of the more recent-ish singles, is not on the album. Now, it didn't really do so well, but I think it was still a good song, and it kind of still showed her as an artist. So she probably should have kept it, in my opinion. But what's interesting is Wild Side is on the album. We're going to discuss that a little later. Okay, now that we talked about what's not on the album, let's discuss the album. Starting with Big Boy. Now, Big Boy, it is definitely a great opener to an extent. Okay, it's very sassy, it's very funky, it's in your face, it's catchy, it's upbeat, it's everything you need as an opener. And it's her. What can you say? It's her. When I say it's catchy, I mean it's catchy. You gonna find yourself singing Bling Bling Blow probably all day, whether you want to or not. It's almost like Kendrick's going wah wah wah, like you gonna sing it whether you want to sing it or not. And then her opening with a feature was a choice. The song itself kind of could have used it because they really did not used it, but they complimented each other. Got a hint song pretty well. I think the artist's name is Star. I've never heard of her. But she really did her thing, and they kind of ate off each other. I think they complimented each other so well. I didn't know it was a feature at first. I had to re-listen to it, prepare for this video to see, oh, there's another person on here. Took me by surprise. But like I said, it's a great opener to an extent, because then we go to Still, and I personally feel like Still should have opened the album, and they should have switched. Still absolutely gives off the vibe that I'm still that girl, I'm still here, you can't write me off, I belong in this space. And if you got a problem with it, sit back, relax, and let me show you why I deserve to be here. Now, obviously, them not the words, but that's the vibe that Still gives off, and that's why I feel like Still should have opened, and then you could have did Big Boy or put it somewhere else in the album. It really, it could switch or it can go somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily matter, but I think Still would have been a perfect opener, in my opinion, to be like, everything y'all was saying, like, what's up now? Especially because on her album release party, I saw she had like a cake where it was like some person tweeting, it was like a countdown from when she said the album was coming into like when it kind of came. That would have ate. Like, if that's how you open the album and that's how your album release goes, that would ate down. Again, Big Boy is still that girl, but Still is that girl too. But Still should have opened. Sorry, not sorry. Did it just get darker? Now after Still, this is when my favorite track run comes in. Okay, I can't remember where the track one ends. I'll get there when I get there. But this is my favorite track run comes in. Okay, because All Yours. Oh baby, child. All Yours is just very sexual, it's very sensual, but it's also very soft. It's like the perfect combination for Normani. It's like a great part of her artistry. Like, I think that she really kind of ate that one up, and it's not like she's trying super hard to be sexy. It's just it kind of comes natural, and that's what I think I love about it. It's a natural sexy. It's a natural sensual. It's a natural feel to the song. It actually is one of my favorites on there, and I just can't wait to run it back all summer. This is the type of music that I love from a pop R&B girly, because you can really like feel everything they want you to get out of that song, you get out of that song. And that's, I think, why I love Yours. Well, All Yours. And then you go into Lights Off, Lights On. It's still sexy, it's still sensual, but it is not soft, okay? That's one thing it's not. I remember when I heard it in the car for the first time, I was like, Miss Ma'am. And I ran that song back. I was like, I need to hear it again. Run it again. When I first listened to the album, it was in the car. I didn't actually finish it because I wanted to like really dive into it. But when I heard this song, I stopped in my track and was like, run it back. It's the type of song that you would expect from like Aaliyah if she was still here. God rest her soul. It's not truly explicit, but you know what they're saying. It's, if you want to have a comparison for like maybe even Leah, like Rock the Boat, not in the terms of the lyrics, I guess, because you're saying what you want, but not explicitly. And that's the beauty and the art of music. You don't have to explicitly say anything. Music is supposed to be up for interpretation. Like, a child listening to the song would have never got what I got from the song unless you explicitly tell them. That's what I kid you not. That's what I love about the song. And that's why it's probably like, if I was to rank them, definitely top 3. Maybe top 5. Actually, we'll get to the rankings later. But it's up there. It's up there. Not on Light Again. Take My Time is next. And I think Take My Time is fun. It's funky. It has a great beat. She sounds pretty comfortable doing the song. Like, I think it's fun. And I really feel like it could be also single worthy just because it can cater to so many different types of people. It's a dance song. So I can definitely hear it like on the radio, whatever. But like, if it's a dance song and you're thinking of like motivation, it's not that. It's a different type of dance song, but I think this one feels more mature for her and a little bit more her speed. And that's probably why Motivation did not make the album, because this particular dance song is just a little bit more elevated, in my opinion. Then she hit us with Insomnia. And that's for the R&B girlies. And it's for the R&B girlies, like 90s R&B girlies. It is so Miss Brandy Norwood coded. And you can tell because she also worked on the song, so like, facts. But it's just so Brandy coded. It's so 90s coded. It's so R&B coded. I love it as an R&B fan myself. I absolutely love it. And then the guitar the guitar riff towards the end, chef's kiss. Beautiful, amazing song. Love it. Can't say anything negative about it. Just can't do it. Only thing I will say, it has nothing to do with the song itself, is that it does not transition well into Candy Paint. Candy Paint, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it until I have no more breath in my body. That song is that girl. That's probably one of my favorite Normani singles that she's ever released. Like, it's booty candy painted with the diamonds in the bag. Like, please. I have nothing but like praises to sing about that song. And I actually did a video on it not too long ago. So if you want to hear me sing more praises about it, you can go to theirs. Because it is something that we've heard prior to the album, I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. I will say, like I just said previously, like it transitioned so abruptly from Insomnia. Like, it just came at me hard. Like, ooh. And I was like, dang. It didn't even feel like a cohesive, like, seamless album at that point. It just felt so And I think that's my kind of issue with the song right now, is that it just doesn't, it feels out of place. It feels out of place because it comes really, really weirdly after Insomnia, and then it kind of comes a little weirdly into Grip. I think its placement should have been rearranged. I'm not entirely sure where. Maybe after it, like, I think Steel should have opened the album. Then you could have put Big Boy. Then you could have put Candy Paint, and then you could have went into All Yours. You know, like a big three, kind of at your face, like a boom, boom, boom at you 3 times, and then we go a little softer. Maybe. I guess you probably tried to break it up a little bit, but that transition was rough for me. So next we have Grip, and I need to just be honest here. The album was going great for me up until here. Like, this is the end of the run, by the way. I don't like it. It's not my favorite. It's my least favorite on the entire album. Just a disconnect somewhere for me, and I'm not entirely sure like where it is, but it's there. Maybe some lyrics, I'm not sure. Like, the song is pretty like self-confidence based, which is great. Maybe it's, like I said, just the lyrics that just don't do it for me. um it's the weakest song on the album, if we're being completely honest, and I have no shame about saying that, and I have no shame in saying I don't like it. Don't get me wrong, it is kind of catchy. There is a gotta can't remember what the part of the song is that kind of got stuck in my head for a little bit as I was like preparing for this video. It'll come back to me right now. I'm still singing bloom bloom blow, you know. Um, but it's a part that's like a little catchy. But just because it's stuck in your head does not make it that great. Maybe it'll grow on me. Who knows? But right now, just gonna stick that at the bottom of the toilet bowl. So 159 was next, and I guess it's the technical second single of the album, because Wild Side, I guess, is the technical first. Besides the point, it was the first song that was released this year promoting the album. And I didn't like hate it when it came out, but I didn't love it. It wasn't like making me excited for the album. I think I do like it more in the album though, because it kind of feels like everything kind of ties itself together. Maybe that's just me. And I think what really is the problem for me with this particular song, by the way, I do like it now. It's grown on me a little bit more, but I think the problem with me initially, and probably kind of still with me, is with the song, is that I just didn't like Gunna in it. That is no disrespect to Gunna, because he killed his verse. He did what he had to do with his verse, but I felt like another singer that would have ate down. That would have ate down. Specifically a male singer, because they would have really like bounced off each other. It would have made like, you know, what's a good comparison? My Boo maybe, or like, I was gonna say Dilemma, but that's a rapper and a singer. But even just that, like, I feel like it has so much more potential. It has so much more potential, and I wish it would did like a male singer, a male R&B singer. Doesn't even have to be like a really, really well known one. Just someone who could have had like some great chemistry with her, and it would have snatched me bald. It would have snatched me bald, because her part is amazing. She sounds great. She does what she needs to do. And he does sound good too. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the song itself, how the song goes, how the song is written, could have been so much better with a male singer. Distance, I loved it. I genuinely love the song. It's very emotional. It's very raw. It's very much so like you can feel that she's singing from like past experiences. It's Her vocals are strong. She, as like an artist, I think this is probably one of her strongest songs. Not necessarily like, oh, this is her best vocally, even though she does still sound good. But as an artist and how her music is, it's probably one of her best. Like, it's exceptional, and who, maybe the production even more exceptional. I would dare to say it's probably my favorite on the album. um I'm stuck right now between it, All Yours, and Lights On. Insomnia is up there too. I don't know, and eventually I gotta make a top rating. But I would dare to say like it's the best song on the album. Honestly, it's truly just amazing. And if you haven't listened to it, please do, please do. Okay, now Tantrums. Tantrums is really really eerie, but in a good way. And I think she picked the perfect feature for it, James Blake, because he helped really sell the song. Like sell it. Like, so for me, I haven't really listened to a lot of James Blake, and that's I guess my fault. But he was on he was featured on Kalani's song "Grieving," and it's also one of my favorite songs on the album. Actually, that album is just phenomenal, up, down, left, right. I can't wait to do her new album. But he gave off what needed to give from that song, and he does the exact same thing here. It's I mean, it was a smart choice all in all. It's kind of experimental, I would say. It's experimental, but in a good way. And I kind of would like to see her play around with this sound a little bit more. I can't knock it because it really is a good song. It's like I said, it's just eerie. And for some people, that may not be like their vibe, but for me, it was cool and I liked it, and the experiment worked well for me. Let me just say the transition from Tantrums into Little Secrets, exceptionally better. Okay, it's not as abrupt as it was from Insomnia to Candy Paint, but that's not the point of the song. The point of the song is that it is if you think of like the song in like an action sequence in a movie, yeah, you think of Little Secrets. You think of Little Secrets. And actually, as I'm saying that, I would love to see a video for this song. It would kind of eat down. Normani, make a video for this one. Actually, you should make a visual album. That would make me happy. But yeah, it's a star. It's a star. I can really see it trending on like TikTok in the next not too long from now. Things also just resurfaced because even though I don't think I've seen it trending right now, I think it can come back. And yeah, it's a star. And if we're being really really realistic, it should have closed the album. Yeah, it just gives album closer, and it would have been a chef's kiss way to end it. But it didn't. It is the second to last song, and the last song is a oldie but goodie, Wild Side. Well, I really can't tell why it keeps shifting from like light to dark. It's the same camera. Okay, everybody's heard Wild Side. Everybody's heard Wild Side. Don't you sit here and lie to me and tell me you haven't. It came out in what, 2021, 2022. Song was everywhere. Okay, so yeah, the song eats. Song's great. There's nothing wrong with the song. Can't say nothing like that. It shouldn't have closed the album though. I think it could have went in the album somewhere. If you're going to put that song that if you're going to put that song in the album, put it a little further up, not close the album. I just don't think it's an album closer whatsoever. It is just also interesting to me that it's the only song that we heard prior to this year make the album. I'm curious to know what the decision behind that was. And maybe I should probably look into that a little bit. But I'm also just kind of feeling like it kind of is different from the rest of the album. And maybe that's why it's at the end. But, and like, it could have been like on a deluxe or like the extended version where it's not on the technical album, because it just doesn't fit at the end to me. If you want to stick with the end, I feel like that's the way to go, like the extended version or like the deluxe version or like whatever the hell. I mean, I have no gripes with the song. Take me for a while, boy. Show me a wild side, boy. I have no gripes with the song. I just don't like the placement of it. And it's just interesting that it's the only song, and I do mean the only song that we heard prior to this year that made the album. So I'm just curious about the strategic of it. Yeah. And then that was Dopamine. Okay, that was Dopamine. And as a debut album, I think it was pretty solid. I don't see where people are like unhappy with it. For Normani to be dealing with everything that she dealt with, just to even make this album, just to even give us music, like, I think it's all. There's nothing other than that grip song that I just genuinely don't like. There's not a single song that I would just be like, ooh. I mean, it's one out of 13. So 12 songs. That's an A. That's an A. I don't know. They're definitely stars. Definitely stars of the show. So like, Big Boy is obviously a song. That's that girl, to be honest. If you really want to feel something. All Yours, I told you, is one of my personal favorites. Lights On is one of my personal faves. Insomnia, Candy Paint, you can't forget that girl. And Distance, and even Little Secrets. Those are like kind of stars. I do feel like the order of the album could have been rearranged, but it's a solid body of work. Now, granted, I would have loved more transitions in there, more transitional works, just so like things kind of really flow together as a body of work. But like the songs themselves, what's the issue? Now, at the time of this recording, it is currently on the Billboard at 91. I think it sold like 12K in the first week, and people are really like messing with her. They're like, oh, you're not doing that great, but like, support your artists, support your people that you have been begging to give you music, because that's really the only way that, one, they'll continue to give you music, but also two, that's how they climb up the charts. Now, some people don't really care about charts. I mean, some people just want to make music, and that is probably one of my favorite things about those type of artists. They just make music because they love it. If I ever get to that point in my life where I get to make music, it's just gonna be because I love it. It's not for the charts. And yeah, like, I just don't see what the issue is. And people are like talking about her. People are like dragging her or whatever. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to see what you can really say about this album that's negative. So, I mean, is it worth the wait? Sure. If you're a real Normani fan, if you're a Normani Nation, yes, it's worth the wait. It's something that you've been begging for years. And if you're not really like a fan, you just want to listen, well, then that's probably where you get upset, boo. Listen to the folks you want to listen to, or listen to the people that, like, I don't know. I'm gonna go off on a real tangent, but yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I give the album a solid maybe like 8 out of 10. It's a good album, and especially for her debut album, she could just only get better. She can only get better. This pop R&B girly who is pulling from different inspirations like Aaliyah, Brandy, Janet, Mariah, Beyonce, obviously. She can only get better. That's it. So thank you so much for sticking around. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps me continue going. Wow, I'm just still stuck on how long this video is probably going to be once I get to editing, because I ain't even actually listened to the songs. I just talked about them. That's crazy. I can talk for days. So if you want me to continue to talk for days, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe, and we can do this thing again. My birthday is Friday. Shout out to the Cancers. But I still hope to do a reaction, not a reaction because I'm not going to listen to it live, but like a commentary, I guess, of Megan Thee Stallion's new album. I'm a hottie, I'm there. Oh, I'm so excited. And I also plan to do the same type of video with Kalani's album Crash. Again, support. She deserves it, and that's all I got to say about that. And until next time, thank you again for hanging out with me, and yeah, bye.